You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks.
Hey everyone. So question of the day I'm going to go over is, how do I grow my gym, right? How do I reliably grow my gym? So I think there's a lot of great information out there in the industry. You know, if you're working with different mentorship companies, everybody covers all of it really, really well, right? So, you know, Two Brain, they have like the six different levers that drive growth in a business. I'm going to keep this pretty simple today. I'm just going to talk about it's going to come down to, people coming in and people going out, right? At a very simple level. So let's just talk about people going out first, because that is the biggest problem you need to solve before we really ramp up people coming in. So if you think about why people leave a gym at a very basic level, outside of life events, which happen, that's why there's a natural churn rate, typically between 3 and 5% in terms of excellence in gyms. But outside of that, people generally leave the gyms because in a very simple way, regardless of what they say to you, cost is greater than value, right? So what they're paying and what they're receiving in value, cost is greater. And if you think about why that would be, for most of us, it's usually coming down to their experience and results, right? So if our gym caters more to people who are newer on their fitness journey, generally they're looking to lose some weight, feel better, get stronger, build some capacity, right? So that's not happening if they're not getting those types of results. If that's not happening, they're not going to value your gym, and they're going to say, well, I'm probably better off spending less money and doing something that's similar, right? The other reason would be because of the experience. And when we talk about a really good experience inside of our gyms, it's going to come down to things like customer service, coaching quality, how they're treated by other members. Is it cliquey? Is it intimidating? Or is it very welcoming and very positive? So all those things is what's going to drive retention. Are we getting results? And is it a good experience from a customer satisfaction standpoint, a coaching quality standpoint, and let's call it community or just culture standpoint with the other members? Okay. Now, if all of that is true, value will exceed cost, right? If you're priced appropriately in your marketplace. So then again, you kind of get to this. If you do that well, you'll get to this place of like 3 to 5% churn, more near 5 if you live in a more urban market where there's a lot more movement going on in terms of people and people's lives. Think major metropolitan areas. If you're out in the suburbs where people are a lot more stable, we got mortgages, we got kids, we got things like that. Usually you want to land somewhere in like the 3 to 3.5% range in terms of churn. If you're within that window, then we can start talking about people coming in the funnel, right? So, easiest ways for you to start doing that, if we're thinking about the different phases of your marketing funnel, there's 4 specific stages. We're going to start on the bottom and work our way up. So at the very bottom, you have people that know, like, and trust your brand, and they're ready to commit now. So things like reactivation campaigns, things like referrals. So whether you want to do that through Bring a Friend Week or a referral bonus program, whatever that is, those are going to be the hottest, and those are usually the cheapest to acquire. Okay. It's less predictable, but that'd be the easiest lever for you to pull. As you move up into the evaluation phase of your marketing funnel, this is where things like posting on your socials every other day, telling good stories, presenting member success stories, email campaigns, if you want to get more sophisticated and move into podcasts. But essentially, it's like you already have somebody's attention, and they're evaluating whether or not they trust you with their health and their fitness, or they're going to go somewhere else. And that's where we have to be more proactive about building differentiation and trust by storytelling across those mediums, right? One step above that, you have your consideration phase. This is like people just found your business. They don't know necessarily anything about you. They are just considering you amongst other alternatives. This is where things like website SEO, things like Google AdWords, this is where it makes sense to make sure signage, make sure your business is visible, whether digitally or physically, so that people can see it and they can start considering whether or not they want to do business with you. And then at the very top, you have awareness campaigns. This is where paid advertising typically lives. These people don't know anything about your business. They don't know, like, and trust you. They're complete strangers. And we are interrupting their life to tell them about our business and what we do. So the easiest way for you to build a good, solid foundation and infrastructure for marketing to get people in is start with the referral and reactivation campaigns. Start with professional photography, social media posting, telling stories. Then we can move up into SEO and making sure that your website is optimized and people are finding you easily, whether that's on Google My Business, again, a website, signage, basic things like that. And then we can add paid advertising on top, because paid advertising is going to amplify all the other levels of your marketing funnel. So you want to make sure that those things are in place. So to reliably grow your gym, you need to have great coaching, great service. You need to make sure it has an amazing experience. You know, we are in the hospitality industry to a certain extent, not just the fitness business. You need to have an amazing culture. Make sure you kick out all the people that are like not fun to be around, you know, and just bringing the whole culture down. And then really building out that marketing funnel so that people can start knowing and liking and trusting your business. And there's going to be a ceiling in terms of what each stage of that marketing funnel is going to provide. And so as long as you're clear on where you're trying to take your business, how fast you're trying to get there, and what long-term KPIs for in terms of like overall membership, revenue, what those are, that's where you can start investing in different stages of that marketing funnel. I think the mistake a lot of gym owners make, and this is pretty standard in the industry, is just thinking that you don't need to do paid advertising until you get to a certain threshold. It's it's market specific. What I'm finding in the CrossFit market specifically, or maybe let's just call it like independent boutique, you know, stuff that's not franchise concepts, they tend to cap out at 125 to 150. And if you hit that ceiling and you're between 3 to 5% retention, and you're running the Bring a Friend weeks, and you have a website that's SEO optimized, and you are posting on all that stuff, that's the market telling you that you have to look for a different avenue for people to find your business, right? Paid advertising is still one of the most effective ways to do that versus like tabling events, billboards, things like that. All of that can work, but paid advertising is still the cheapest way to get eyeballs on your business. Just understand these people don't know, like, and trust you, so it takes a longer time to nurture them through those other parts of your marketing funnel, sales funnel, to be able to kind of warm them up. That's why you want to start there and then add paid ads on top of that. Okay. Hope that makes sense, you guys. I want everyone to grow. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.